Hey YouTube, what's going on here? My name is aka Dodgemeister and I'm going to do a deck profile today of the current new April adjusted list, the adjusted list even, of my Odd Eyes Magician build. Okay, I'm just going to go through the monster lineup first. So first of all, I play Triple Dragon Pit Magician, just to the fact that he is the big pendulum scale. I like this guy. He is probably the best card, and the reason why I have it at 3 is because it's literally amazing. He can also make rank 7s in my deck, which I now use as XYZs, and he's just generally the good scale, and he's a big scale, and his effect is pretty good, which is I can discard a card and pop a spell or trap card in the field, which is good obviously against the pendulum decks currently in the format. And obviously the reason why I play this deck is that I play triple Odd Eyes Magician, Odd Eyes Magicians, triple Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. The reason why is because he's a level 7 and he's easy to make the 7s on the board, and also is good for when I use Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, which is when I can negate an attack and obviously spawn an Odd Eyes, which I can then push for game as an O2K variant. I next play Oath Dragon Magician. Again, another reason why I play Oath Dragon Magician at 3. He's again another big beater. He's a 2/1 attacker. And also when I'm special summoning him, I can then add a Magician, Pendulum Monster, and Odd Eyes Monster in graveyard, except himself. So he is a pretty good guy, and he's a 6 as well, which means I can make other good monsters off him as well. Especially with the new Beatrice card from the Premium Gold. That's what I use him for. The reason why this deck is broken is because of this guy here, Wisdom Eye Magician. I play triple of because obviously everyone should know by now. His effect is that when you have another magician in your pendulum scale, you can pop himself, return it onto the extra deck to basically activate another scale. So what I would do is that if I don't open a big scale in hand, I would activate this guy, activate his effect to pop himself to spawn the big guys, and then have my scale then to go push then obviously to pendulum summon on my monsters, and attack for big damage. And he's a 4 as well, which means I can make my level 4 plays, rank 4 plays as well. Okay, then I'm going to go on to the Draco Slayer engine. I play 3 Draco Overlord Vector Pendulum Draco Overlord. The reason being as well is because I run a Draco engine. Obviously, he's the main target. Obviously, I would like to have triple of, because I only play 2 Draco face-off. He is generally amazing, just to the fact that his pendulum effect is pretty good. It negates your opponent's pendulum zones, so he is pretty good. I mean, and also as well, he's a kind of fairly big beater as well for a level 4, and of course as well, you can use him for rank 4 plays as well. Another reason why I like this deck is this guy, Mist Valley Apex Avian. Right, this guy is absolutely awesome. He's a level 7, and also I can negate things with this guy. He's basically like a hand trap, but he's on the field. What I would do is when someone activates an effect, I can target himself, return it to my hand, and negate the activation of an effect and destroy it. And that's anything on the field as well. So it is pretty amazing. And again, he's a level 7 as well, which means I can do rank 7 plays. He is pretty much awesome. I mean, I like this guy a lot. And he's a 2/7 attacker, which means I can push for big damage and cause and big up the game. Okay, so that's Mist Valley Apex Avian. Now to the one-offs, I play 1 Tuning Magician, just to the fact that I can make synchro plays with it, and it's pretty awesome, and it's like Light Bulb, but better. 1 Dragon Pulse Magician, because you only play him at 1, and he's a small scale, which means if I get it with the big scale, it means that I can do good with it. Luster Pendulum, simple as, because obviously it's the Draco engine, and obviously it's amazing to make obviously Ignister and your other Magesta and whatnot, and Dinoster. Master, same reason again, because 2 targets for, same with Luster, there's another target as well for Draco face-off. This guy, Magispector Unicorn Current, he is generally awesome, and his effect is actually pretty nuts. I can return a Pendulum monster, and then return something to hand, especially if it's a problematic monster. So this guy is also pretty good. 1 Noble Dragon Magician, again, same thing. He's a pretty good synchro to make synchro plays with this guy. And unfortunately, it might sound weird, but 1 Effect Veiler, because why not? It's a good hand trap. And finally, for the monster lineup, 1 Skullcrobat Joker, just because obviously you want to add things from this guy. Okay guys, so that was the monster lineup. Now on to spells. Obviously I played the 1 Raigeki, just because it's destroy opponent's monsters, destroy opponent's monsters, simple. Then I played the triple Sky Iris to protect my monsters. This is the reason why I like this card, because it's a protection and it stops my pendulum zones being destroyed or targeted for an effect, which is pretty awesome. The Search card, Pendulum Call, to play 2 of. Obviously discard a card, search 2 Magician Pendulum monsters, and they can't be targeted until the end of your opponent's next standby phase, which is actually awesome. The only thing you don't want to do though is you do not want to use this with Wisdom Eye, because it does stop the effect, as I've already found out on YGO Pro. So, and I play, obviously because I play Draco Engine, which is, I've got the very nice new premium gold ones. Draco Face Off. This is actually pretty awesome, especially if you can't open either a Pendulum Call or any of the big Pendulum monster scales. Obviously you activate Draco Face Off instead, and realistically you want a Vector in your scale, but you know, it's pretty awesome otherwise, but still it's pretty much amazing. For deck thinning even, terraforming, obviously tend to add my Sky Irises to hand, because Sky Iris is pretty good in the deck. And finally, the 2 Odd Eyes Fusion. I run Odd Eyes Fusion at 2 because obviously I run Vortex Dragon as well. It actually is awesome. People say running it at 1 is awesome, 1 is pretty good and stuff like that, but I prefer running it at 2 because I get to see it more often. And it produces better plays, and that's why I like it. And it's good for when your opponent has more monsters than you do, and they have an advantage. So that's the reason why I like that. Next on to traps. Okay, I run the 1 Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike because it is generally awesome. It's probably the best card in the format at the moment. It's pretty broken. Scolding, again, because it's pretty awesome. This card is actually awesome in the format because it does spells, traps, and monster effects, which is good. Time Space Trap Hole for Cosmo, because Cosmo is a pain in the arse, and this is also good to oust the Dark Destroyer. Bottomless Trap Hole, obviously, again, same with Trap Hole, Time Space Trap Hole even, is because I can use this now with Rafflesia, because Rafflesia is actually awesome. Okay then guys, so that is the main deck all done. Now to go on to the extra deck. So, I play 1 copy of Traptrix Rafflesia. Again, the reason why I use this guy is because it is actually pretty good. Especially if you want to get out Dark Destroyer, which is you activate Time Space Trap Hole and get rid of the situation very quickly, and you'll be able to get rid of the play. Get rid of their Cosmo play, which is stupid. But just a Paladin, because of the Draco Slayer engine, obviously to add Pendulum monsters and to special summon Draco Slayers, which is actually good, especially if you are pushing the game. Castel. Castel's pretty good at the moment, obviously just returning stuff and just bouncing things, obviously whenever you need to, back to the deck and whatnot. Dark Rebellion XE Dragon, just the fact that you can push the game, this guy can, and you know, push for big damage and halves obviously your opponent's monster attack, and obviously he bumps himself up. So that's the 4s, I believe, and now going on to the 7s, which is Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, because this guy is actually one of the best level 7s I use at the moment. If your opponent activates an effect, it can't be destroyed by card effects if he has an XYZ material. And also, if your opponent activates a card effect, he inflicts 500 damage for each time every time your opponent activates an effect. So it is pretty good, and actually pretty broken. Number 11, Big Eye, because obviously swallows monsters and put them on your side of the field, and that means you can push the game. That's why I like this guy. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. The reason why I use this guy is because he's good, because I can spawn what you do is you can negate an attack, special summon an Odd Eyes, which is good, especially if you're pushing for big damage for game, and again, he's a big beater. So, and also as well, he's a use as well for Odd Eyes Fusion if I haven't got the materials. Same with Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. It's exactly for the same reason why I use it for Odd Eyes Fusion, because I can send this guy and send something from hand to special summon a Vortex Dragon. Then I want 1 Odd Eyes Meteor's Burst Dragon. Again, this is what I would do, is I would special summon this guy, synchro summon this guy, and then what I would do is I would use him to spawn out another 7, overlay, and obviously go for a 7. That's what I would do, rank 7 play with him. but try not to go into that as much often. Black Rose, because it just destroys fields and is a level 7. My very nice Ghost Rare, Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. This guy is actually awesome, because even though obviously I pendulum summon monsters, what happens is I destroy all my special summon monsters, destroy all theirs, and I inflict 500 for each, and he's a 3k beat, and normally I do this guy to attack for game, and he is actually my favourite card of all, if I can get him off. Some people are going to be pretty mad at me, but Enlightenment Paladin, this guy is actually pretty well. I like this guy, especially if I use him with a Magician Pendulum monster. I can target one spell card in the graveyard, add it to my hand. So I can basically add things, or I can add obviously my spell cards, which I can recycle for, especially Odd Eyes Fusion and things like that. So I can use this guy with Enlightenment Paladin. Ignister, the Prominence of the Blasting Dragon Slayer. Again, this guy is pretty awesome this format. Again, because it's an Alps Dark Destroyer, because he doesn't target, which is pretty awesome. Okay, to my fusions, which is one Dinoster. Dinoster is actually pretty awesome, just to the fact that obviously that, you know, he can't be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effects, and I can special summon Dragon Slayer, just exactly the same as Majesta. So that is actually pretty awesome, and he's a pretty big wall, which is 2950 defense, which is actually awesome. And finally, last but not least, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. I know everyone's probably saying about the misprint, it's actually generally pretty. I got this off a friend of mine. This guy is actually pretty awesome. You know, you special summon him and target one attack position monster and return it to their hand. And basically, like a Shien, which is during another player's turn when a spell trap card or monster effect is activated, you can shuffle one face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck into my deck, then negate the activation and destroy it. So it is generally awesome. I like him. He's pretty awesome. He knows he's got pretty good effects and whatnot. So I try and use him sometimes when I can, especially in the problematic situations. Okay, guys. So thank you guys for listening to my my deck profile today. I hope you enjoyed it, and like and subscribe my page for more tips and stuff on my deck. If you want to hit me up and subscribe to me. Thank you very much. AKA Dodgemeister out.